Anyways, hi, it's Jennifer from Belladonna's Botanicals, and this is our June 2024 updates for all things Belladonna's Botanicals. Can't find this name right. Anywho, so hey, number one, it's my birthday month, so all hail those pesky Geminis flitting about the sun. This is our time. You've been warned. Anyways, so this is probably gonna be a little bit longer of an update because I have a couple. The summertime things are a little slower for me, so I have a lot more time to really go into analyzing how business is doing, how things are working out, and what new stuff I want to do, what I want to discontinue or change, all of that. So let's start first with just going to give you a general health update. I apologize. I haven't been making as many videos for the past month or two. There's a reason for that. Unfortunately, I've had to deal with at least twice now allergic reactions, which I thought were to medications because I had started two new medications for psoriatic arthritis, both of which about the 2-week mark made me break out in really terrible hives that were like down my face, under my jawline, and on my neck. Didn't exactly feel like recording videos when my face was on fire. I had to do a course of methylprednisone, which, holy hell, roid rage is real. Oh my goodness, that was intense. And oh my God, the Zoomies were great. I got so much cleaned and organized and done that week. It's been about a week since I've been off of that. Also, I would have just made videos shouting at everyone because, yes, roid rage is real. But it cleared up the last round of hives. But I just got back from a bunch of doctor's appointments because we were trying to figure out if I was having an allergic reaction to a Tesla or to any number of things. Turns out I forgot I had seasonal allergies. And it's apparently where I live now, a hot mess of seasonal allergies. I've just never gotten hives from them before. And I haven't had issues with my allergies in about almost 15 years at this point. Because when I lived inside more central area of Philadelphia, there just wasn't a lot of trees and grass and all that stuff. When I lived in the suburbs outside of Philadelphia, there was. And so I had really terrible allergies. I actually ended up having sinus surgery in 2008 because I was just either constant allergy flare-ups and constant sinus infections. I would take the antibiotics, the infection would go away. The day I was done with the antibiotics, it came right back. So I haven't had issues with my allergies in 15 years. So yeah, apparently I'm allergic to things up here. And you can get hives from seasonal allergies. Today I learned something new. A couple new things. There's a couple new products and a couple sneak peeks of things that'll be coming down the pike. So as far as new products go, we just dropped our Youth and Beauty Spell Bubble Bath and Body Wash. So I've been building out some of our like permanent catalog collection bath and body products. And I had the Beauty Spell Bath and Body Oil. I just didn't have any other complementary things for it. So we now have the Body Wash and Bubble Bath, and I will be doing a soap, a crystal healing oil, for if anyone wants to do like glamour magic kind of stuff. That's what this is more geared towards. And a bath salt will be coming soon. I just have to order more salt, which I should probably do. Not as salty as I should be. So if you've been following us on social media, I don't have any examples, but we did change up our some of the stuff with our spirit stones. So I am very ill prepared. So let me just like pull that up on here on my thing. So since I moved, I've been trying to get better work-life balance. I've been trying to, because I have a lot of health issues and they are starting to impact my ability to really do this as, efficiently as I was in the past, because I would just wake up, work until I went to sleep. That is not good for you. So, and I did that since the beginning of that thing that happened in March 2020 when we had so much free time on our hands. So I've been trying to get into some better work-life balance stuff there. And also just to not cause, chronic pain flare-ups, the psoriatic arthritis and all of that. So, So I've done, these are all for like the custom made to order spirit stones. So we now have ones for just intention stones, like if you want, a piece of rhodonite charged for grief and loss or something like that, or a piece of malachite charged for money magic or something like that, or a dual purpose of money magic and working with Bune or Clowneck or Mammon or something like that. We do have ones for gods, goddesses, and deities, angels and archangels. We have the demonic divine ones and the dark goddess spirit stones. So what I added to this was I made 4 different tiers because I'm going to be moving a lot of the spirit stones into the customs just because it's easier. And I'm trying to eliminate having, because my product catalog is usually about 300 and something products deep. And hi, I'm one person and I make everything except for like the stuff that Lamia Nightstorm does and Barbie, Black Magic Barbie and stuff like that. So I make a lot of stuff and I'm it's just a juggling act. And especially since I've been doing more wholesale things too, I'm constantly having to like rebatch things a lot more frequently than I did. So I'm trying to find ways to do this, but so I'm moving some stuff to being more on the made to order side of things so I don't have to keep them in stock. So, or I'm going to be doing limited runs on some stuff, but we'll get to that. So with the spirit stones now, we have a basic tier, which is $19.99 per stone. And that will include, any kind of tumbled, raw, basic stones, your quartz, amethyst, jaspers, agates, so on and so forth. The advanced tier at $29.99 would include some additional options like, double terminated points or little towers, something in that kind of range, or like higher quality crystals, and they can be tumbled or raw or like a cluster. I mean, that would be things like fluorite or sunstone, moonstone, and other ones. For the premium tier at $49.99, we have, this can include small carved stones and free forms, clusters, and premium stones in terms of size, quality, and cut. And these can include some higher tier stones like, say, rhodochrosite or Herkimer diamonds. And the exclusive tier at $99.99 per stone, this would be additional options of carved crystals, larger free forms, clusters, and premium stones like, say, moldavite or vivianite, or things that are a little more high quality depending on the size. So there are some limits. So if you're looking for something really up there like diamonds or 14 karat gold, we can accommodate that for additional costs. But please message us first for details. And that goes across for all of the custom made to order spirit stones. And lastly, on the new product side of things, I've been dabbling with making some candles and wax melts. I used to offer candles in the shop. I used to do little tins. God, that was like 2019 maybe. I just decided I really hated making candles. So I just didn't. I mean, the last time I actually physically made any candles was in 2021. And that was just because I was like, well, I have this bag of wax and all this shit left over. So I just made a bunch of candles for myself. But I decided I want to start, dabbling a little bit in candles again. So this is what I have so far. I don't have these online yet. So this is just a sneak peek. So some of what I'm going to be doing with the candles is, as you know from watching my videos, I love vintage glass. So I'll be using some of the vintage glass pieces. This is a ruby red. I think it's ruby red. Yeah. No, because Avon's Cape Cod is also kind of the same shade of red, but it usually has like texture-y, to, I don't know what the technical term is for it. So this is a ruby red glass. So it's a decent size. And this particular one's just like a meditation candle. So it's got like dragon's blood and nag champa for like the scents. And then on top, we have little rosebuds and a labradorite, iolite, and amethyst crystals. So these are just like the little crystal chips. They're not like full regular size crystals. So big hat tip to the vendor, one of the vendors that does the local event that I do monthly usually. She's like, okay, so this is what you do. You pour your candles first, let them set, then you take your heat gun, heat up the top, then you put your stuff in. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sometimes not very good at that sort of logic, but it worked perfectly. Because like before, when I was first making candles, I mean, I was like trying to make sure, I'm like, okay, is it, settled enough that I can put the stuff on the top and it's not just going to sink to the bottom and create a huge fire hazard. I did have a candle explode once from that. So lesson learned there. These are also another candle that I did. This is with a mold. So this is just kind of like a freestanding candle. It's a little rosebud. So this is just a rose candle. Probably, I mean, it's not specifically for Lucifer, but I associate roses with Lucifer. So this one is, it's a rose fragrance, a passion fruit rose fragrance, and a primrose fragrance. A lot of times what you see with, someone's like, one of the candle makers I know was telling me, a lot of the reasons why fragrance oils are used for candles is because some of the essential oils are extremely flammable. So the last thing you want to do is fill a candle up with a bunch of a eucalyptus oil and set it on fire. So that's why. And when I talk in many of the videos about symbolically using things and using substitutions, that's why. I don't want your house to burn down if you buy a candle, because I put, 20 tons of what's it called? Eucalyptus oil in it, which eucalyptus is very flammable. So, I mean, other things like bay leaves are really flammable too. So yeah. Anyways, that aside, and I'm also working, I don't have labels on me, but I'm also working on some wax melts. These ones are a Lilith devotional. They smell nice. It probably smells on par to the other Lilith products I have. So that's what I've started working on right now. I haven't really gotten any further in getting them online, and I'm still experimenting, making some other candles. So keep an eye out. I will be doing, I think a lot of the candles are probably going to be limited edition. Like I made a batch of 6. When they're gone, they're gone. And I'll make another one at some point when I feel like it. Because it's hard. Like, it's just a lot of work. I'm trying to streamline the process. So once my Lowe's credit card gets here, I'm getting a, professional candle wax melter thing that has like a, how those looks like, fruit punch things at like a company picnic, and they've got the little pour spout thing on the bottom. It's kind of like that with the wax. So it makes it a lot easier to pour things. I had to, with the wax melt, I can't hand pour it in there because it just goes everywhere. So I had to take like those like plastic pipettes and suck up a whole bunch of oil of the melted candle wax and individually put it into each area of the clamshell. So another sneak peek coming up, I don't have this online yet, but it will be soon, is that on summer solstice, Lamia Nightstorm is going to be leading a group ritual. She has sent me the information for it last night, so I'll hopefully get this up soon. It's a Hecate road opener for prosperity. All the I almost said Protestants. All the participants can send in tier names and specific requests, like if you had taken part of the or was familiar with the solar eclipse ritual she did. So we'll have that. She'll record individual videos for everyone. And she will also need people's addresses. We'll figure that out because I would have that information if you order the ritual thing. Because you'll receive a Hecate's Key Prosperity Pendant following the ritual. And we're still working out the details. She might ship them. I might ship them. It's probably just easier for me to do it. Get all my shipping discounts. She goes on to say the pendants are all different kinds of semi-precious teardrop-shaped stones with a small key. Prior to the ritual, she plans to put all the pendants in envelopes, and she will select an envelope at random for each participant. It's their key from Hecate. So she doesn't know what kind of stone will be going to who, but she's doing the intuitive kind of pick thing for that. And it's all going to be prosperity related, which is a good time because I know for me, like the summer, like there's a significant drop in sales. Like June is usually my slowest month, which is good and bad because I'm like, ooh, I have time to do something and I'm fucking broke. But So anyways, moving on to the next thing, because I don't want to go too long. I'm already 17 minutes in. We are working on restructuring some of our product offerings. I did talk about this a little bit with the candles in order to meet our client and customer needs, in addition to accommodating my own fluctuating health issues that sometimes impact the business, i.e. chronic pain flare-ups, amongst a seemingly growing list of many other things at this point. So first up, I talked about the radionics charged spirit stones we have. So we will be moving some of our current offerings from the permanent catalog into the made to order kind of stuff. I'm gonna see how it works out for some things, because when I evaluate different products, like if I look at something, I'm like, okay, well, I've had this on my website now for 3 years and I've sold 20. It is not worth it for me to keep that in stock at all times. So something like that would be moved into the customs range. So I can make a one-off when needed, and if no one else is going to buy that every year, I'm not, wasting, having to keep extra supplies on hand, because shit ain't getting any cheaper. So, and I think probably, as I mentioned with the youth and beauty spell products, we're still working on building out our ritual bath product lines. So they all include a bath salt, soap, body wash, bubble bath, and bath and body oil, plus either a ritual oil or crystal healing oil. We're doing that for all of our existing lines, and I'm working on new product lines, including the youth and beauty spell one, transmutation. We already have the transmutation spray and crystal healing oil, so I'm going to add the bath side of it. I'm thinking about something for like astral travel or deep meditation, something a little more ethereal and heady. And I'm working on some more. The demonic praise and offering ritual oil is sort of my like proof of concept of testing a theory. So I'm also working on building out products for an angelic empowerment line, dark goddess, and the demonic divine. I may add more, and I'm also revamping our come to me / come to me love me products. So right now I think I just have like the bath salts up and maybe the ritual oil. So I want to figure it out, because it was a combination of two different things before. Because it used to be, I sort of based it off the formulation for the come to me oil, and I used to have a love me oil. So I'm just there. I just need to redesign it, because that particular soap, because I had two different types of soap, was a real ass pain to make. So moving along, this part might get a little longer, but I want to talk about a couple. These are more policy changes as to how things work here. And I really cannot stress this enough, that I am a business, I'm a content creator, I'm a person. I do have boundaries, and I do occasionally end up, and I'm going to preface this before I go into what I'm going to go into. I appreciate my clients and customers immensely. And, I'm not perfect, willing to admit that. And, I fuck up sometimes. Holy crap. I fucked up an entire wholesale order that I couldn't get. I couldn't, because I fucked it up. I couldn't get insurance for it. So I basically had to resend out an order that was like over $300, and just eat the products that got damaged. So I fucked up sometimes. It happens, but I do my best to work through that. If I'm not accosted in a belligerently abusive manner. Because if I am contacted in a belligerently abusive manner, I'm very likely just going to ignore you and be like, shop elsewhere in the future. And do nothing to help you. Because I'm going to give you a couple things that I've had to deal with over the years, just so you understand what I'm talking about here. Because there's a lot that people don't see that goes on behind the scenes for businesses and creators like myself. I am not alone in this. We all talk. We talk. We know. But I just want to say, when it comes to communication, like, hey, Jen, got a question, need this may have gotten lost in the mail, or I can't find this, or that sort of thing. Please As someone who is neurodivergent, autistic, and ADHD, please send like one concise message with your issues. So for an example of what not to do is I had one customer who is now filed under the former customer of please shop elsewhere in the future. But this person over the past year or two maybe placed about maybe 5 or 6 orders. I don't know. A couple were on Etsy, a couple on my website. And according to my most recent Etsy chat log today, I have 563 messages from this person. 563. Most of which is me repeating myself over and over again and being berated for things that are not my fault and not my responsibility. Like, I'm sorry, I don't set international tax law. I don't know. There's 200 and something countries in the world. They all function differently. If you want to buy stuff from international companies, you're going to have to pay custom and import fees, and sometimes those are ridiculous. Like I know from friends of mine and colleagues in Germany, if they spend $200 on something from the US and have it shipped, they're going to be paying $200 in customs and import tax fees. I agree. It sucks, but there's nothing I can do. And I'm not lying on tax forms and risking my business so you can save a couple bucks. At that point, if that's what you're concerned about, shop elsewhere. I'm sorry. I mean, I have a lot of wonderful international clients. Don't get me wrong. But there's nothing I can do about the customs and tax laws in your country. And if, most of the time, hey, it may be fine. But if your thing gets inspected, like say it got damaged and customs opens it, looks at the invoice and says, this was declared for $10. And this is clearly, they'll just guess what that costs. And then you're going to get a whole bunch of fines on it. So do you want to pay $50 in fees or $5,000? I have all of these policies very clearly on my website and Etsy store. I don't do international through Amazon or I think eBay. I have some, and I do cancel. There's some places I won't ship. I've mentioned before, I will not ship to South Africa because according to my friends in South Africa, anything that gets shipped there just sits in warehouses and gets sent back a year and a half later. And if it's been sitting in a warehouse and I'm going to go out on the wild limb here, it's really freaking hot in South Africa, whatever they're sending back to me is a complete loss. It's not even worth it to send it back. They should just throw it in the freaking ocean or whatever. But in that case, I do have a client there, and because sometimes foreign bank cards get tricky and stuff like that. But the last time I had to send her something because she's like, the only way things get through is in like private couriers. She had to spend over $200 through FedEx to get her order. I mean, she at least got it, but that's a lot. But anyways, so a lot of this is going to have to do this part of because I'm going to talk about international shipping stuff after this, but this part is about communication and boundaries in general. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to send me 563 messages, I'm going to block you. Because that is insane. That is harassment. And it's not even that, all of them are like threats or anything, but like, I don't think I've sent anyone 563 messages. Maybe some of my best friends I chit chat with on, Facebook Messenger or something. I mean, I don't know, but that's different. And this is just general common like communication things. Like, don't send me a message that says, hi, I'm going to delete it. I'm not answering it. Say, hi, I would like to know blah, blah, and blah, or I have a question about something. Don't just say hi. I'm going to ignore you. I'm sorry. I don't have time for it. And I'm just going to assume it's some kind of spam or scam at this point. It's Gemini season, so I'm extra spicy. But I have to deal with a lot of these things, and it takes a lot of time. Do you know how long just guesstimate, how long do you think it would take to read 563 messages and respond to them? Now, granted, I'm not sending 563 messages in response, because there are times I've woken up to 20 messages from one person. It's a lot. And I am very easily overstimulated because, hi, ADHD and neurodivergent autistic fun for everyone. And I will try to say, I'm like, hey, can you, maybe just try to get things into one concise thing. And well, obviously information retention is not everyone's forte. And I say that as someone who I will literally forget what I'm talking about while I'm talking about it, which makes editing these videos so much fun. Oh my God. Yeah, I literally am like, I'll be recording something. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Because I've forgotten what I'm talking about while I'm talking about. So I get it. But and I am very accommodating. I might come off as, being spicy, but I'm a nice person, but I do have my boundaries and my limits on things. And, all I have to say for that, I mean, don't be that person. Like, I'm a business and creator, not your bestie. Sorry, not sorry. I have boundaries. This is also to say that otherwise too, because I also get I think in last month's video I talked about, I'm like, people like stalking me down to find my personal phone number and calling and texting me. I got a way to hide that. There's millions of ways you can get in contact with me that do not involve you calling me on my damn phone. I don't have a brick and mortar store, so it's not like you're calling the store or something like that. You're calling me sitting in my living room watching Grey's Anatomy, I have a problem, honestly. But yeah, like, would you like me to like stalk you and find your private phone numbers and shit like that and call you? Probably not. But yeah, people just do not get boundaries and don't even realize when they're violating someone's boundary. And I have significant complex post-traumatic stress disorder from a fuck ton of trauma. So that can be very hairpin trigger kind of thing for me. That can send me spiraling really fast. You want to know why? Because I have received a few viable unaliving threats. One of which culminated in my assistant preventing a mass pew pew event happening in a particular place in a particular state that has a really terrible football team that Philadelphians like to make fun of. Leave it at that. That was an issue. The one that really was horrible for me was an Etsy customer who just went the fuck off on me. And I probably provoked it a little bit, but she's threatening to have me pew-pewed and stuff like that because she all voodoo all the time. And I'm like, well, why are you buying my shit? And her brothers in a gang. And fun fact, she lived like less than 2 miles from my house when I lived in Philadelphia. I stick out like a sore fucking thumb. So if she wanted to have me pew-pewed, I'm an easy target. I had my picture at the time. I have my YouTube channel, had my picture on the time at the profile. I didn't know what the fuck she looked like. It was a little grayed out thing and apparently, whatever. But yeah, it was bullshit. So, I mean, nothing happened. I moved. I'm obviously fine. But, when people are death threatening you over stuff, like, get a freaking grip. So when I am very protective of my boundaries, that is why. And I can get very defensive very fast when those boundaries are breached, especially when I have told people things. I'm like, the case with, please, only send me one message about this. I don't want to wake up to 20 messages from, hi, are you there? Are you there? Why are you ignoring me? Are you going to answer my emails? Are you going to, because I've had that happen. I have to deal with that sometimes. I'm like, I am a human. I sleep. I don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 366 days on leap years. I'm sorry, I'm human. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because the amount of entitlement that people think they are, I'm like, I offer a business. I make things, I sell things. If you want to learn witchcraft, go learn witchcraft. I have plenty of things on my channel. I make as much content as I can in my free time. And I am not teaching you witchcraft through Etsy messages. And if you expect me to, you can fuck all the way off. The product descriptions are, guess what? In the product description. So if you want to know how to use something, read the product description. Because I can't tell you how much of an a-hole I feel like when I just copy and paste the product description into the message body. I'm like, here you go. Right there. Now, I mean, not every platform is great. Like Etsy's platform kind of sucks for some of that. Like you have to click into things and whatnot, but still, you know it's there. So read it. And I'm guilty of that too, sometimes missing things and whatnot. But it's I do my best to get all my orders out on time, to make things, to make content, to do all this stuff. And I get bogged down in a lot of admin minutiae sometimes, and it sucks. But anyways, so what I am saying here is, as a business owner, I fully have the right to refuse business. If you're not the right, if your expectations are, you want me to make you a potion that's going to turn you into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, literally, or literally turn you into a werewolf, or switch genders, or switch body swap with someone, stop watching so much TV and Hollywood stuff, because most of that, there's this thing called fiction, and then there's this other thing called symbolism. Sometimes you can embrace the werewolf from within symbolically. You're just not going to wolf out like, Teen Wolf. Sorry. But, not everything is suited for people. And, sometimes when I'm working with some of these people, I'm like, these are not people who should be working with magic and nor working with demons or anything, black magic or anything like that, because they're going to fuck shit up for themselves really bad. So if there's something that violates my own personal ethics or morals, if someone is belligerently abusive to me, or, screaming at me for things that are not my fault, or due to their own lack of understanding intelligence. Like I had one asshole on Amazon be like, well, I demand a paid return label for this inferior product. It wasn't cinnamony enough. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm sorry your spell didn't work because you're a fucking idiot. No, you just made your matching not work. That's all you, boo. That's all you. So, anyways, I have the right as a business owner to, when my boundaries are violated and when I'm treated terribly, you'll just get blocked in a shop elsewhere. Because yes, we live in a capitalist society, but I am also is dealing with 563 messages from this person worth, one order, a couple orders. No, it's not. My time and my sanity and my energy is sacred to me. So if I have to cut things out that are no longer serving me, I will do it. And even if it's costing me money. So, and I will cancel future orders as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm more than willing to work with people and meet them in the middle and help out any way I can, but like, I'm a person. Shocking, I know. And while on the subject of international shipping, once again, I don't know what the hell goes on with international shipping from the United States Postal Service, Global Post, whatever the fuck it is. But it seems, for reasons beyond me, that a larger number of parcels are being returned as unclaimed. And this is mostly happening with a lot of the European Union countries. And I suspect the issue here for the unclaimed is people don't want to pay the taxes, like I mentioned earlier, on it. So, because often these things, no one ever contacts me, go, hey, I never got my package, or, what's going on, or sometimes even I message people. I'm like, hey, your thing was returned. What's going on? Do you want me to resend? Do you want me to refund? What's going on? So that tells me people are just abandoning parcels they don't want to pay the custom tax for. This is costing me a lot of time and money because I don't get refunded for that postage. So if it costs me $40 to send you something, I'm not refunding you that. And if it comes back marked unclaimed, I'm not refunding you. So because I've already paid the postage, that I can't get back, and you've just wasted my time and money. And often, due to the amount of time it takes for things to return, they end up damaged. I've had things smashed flat inside shipping boxes before. And it's a total loss for me. So you've wasted my time, you've wasted my postage, and now I have a whole bunch of products I basically have to throw in the trash because, oh, I want to pay 20 euros in taxes. Well, then don't order things online from the United States. I empathize. I think it sucks too that, a lot of these countries have huge tariff things because your economies want the money to stay in your country. And US just is sucking the tea to China every day. So, we order something from anywhere, it comes here, and that's fine. We don't have to pay tariffs on anything. Um, so I empathize. It sucks, but if it sucks that much that you don't want to pay the taxes on, then just don't order things. And I'm sorry I have to change our policies just to deal with this, but like what I do suggest to additionally for international orders, the United States Postal Service, international and global post shipping, yes, while cheaper, is hella unreliable. I have seen things bounce around through multiple export facilities up and down New Jersey and New York for weeks before even leaving the country. And a large part of the problem there is once it makes it to the destination country, it transfers over to the local post office. And, the tracking codes change. I can't tell you anything beyond it's in the country. That's all I know. So I do offer UPS international shipping on our website, and it's great. I love them. It is more expensive, and I don't know if it's available in all countries, but it is definitely worth it because you'll get your. I've had shit get to Australia in a week. Excuse me. And normally it's much longer than a week to get something that far. So, but the good thing with UPS is it doesn't change hands to local services. So it goes from UPS here, goes through UPS customs, flies on a UPS plane, lands wherever it's going, and goes to UPS wherever it's going. And the great thing is, if there are issues with the order, they will contact me and let me know. So I can either contact you, or if you've provided your phone number or email, they can reach out to you because sometimes, hey, you might not be home. And if you're international, they were going to collect their taxes. Because now, while Etsy does collect some VAT taxes for some European Union countries and occasional some other random ones, it's not across the board. And I can't implement it on my site because it is so expensive. I mean, I'm talking like it would cost me $1,000 a month just to be able to collect taxes through my website, international taxes. So we're not doing that. I don't want to have to cut off international shipping and orders, but I have to restrict it to certain countries. And I've noticed an uptick in things. Everything that's going to Sweden again is getting returned. No idea why. I don't know if something changed, but everything is filled out correctly. A lot of times they do come back as unclaimed. I'm having issues with the Netherlands, Austria, and Spain and Portugal. But Spain and Portugal have really stringent import things, especially when it comes to like cosmetic type things. So I even had issues sending something through UPS because like once it got to customs there, they had to open up everything. I had to provide them with so much documentation. I'm like, no, this is not cosmetic stuff. This is for metaphysical shit. This is religious shit. This isn't, my, little fancy pants, Clarins Hydra Central, cream for my face, So I do my best to try to get stuff internationally, but at this point, like so much of it comes back to me. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a total loss at that point. You're losing money, I'm losing money and whatnot. It's getting to the point where, and unfortunately, I can't, Etsy keeps adding a whole bunch of bells and whistles we have not asked for and don't need, while their shipping functionality is stuck in 2002. Because you can only use one, you can use UPS or you can use USPS, but you can't use both. So, I mean, I do offer shipping upgrades. And if you are in one of those countries where I'm constantly getting things back, some countries are fine. I usually don't have a problem with Germany unless there's someone who's an idiot at their end. I don't usually have problems with France or England, like the United Kingdom, that area. Germany's fine. Where else? gets a little iffy in like the Baltics, but yeah, sometimes like the Scandinavia, like up in the Sweden, Norway, Finland area, sometimes that gets a little as well. So um I'm kind of at a loss as to how to solve this. And like I'm kind of it's a pain in the ass because I kind of need to still have Etsy open internationally because not everyone has bank cards that can go through on regular websites because I constantly see so many failed payment notifications come in on the back end. And a lot of times it just won't accept foreign credit cards or bank accounts or stuff like that. And if you don't have an, any of the alternative like PayPal or Venmo or something like that, like a lot of times the only way people can order things is through Etsy. So, sorry, Corey is passed out over there snoring, which is really funny. Anyways, so yeah, Etsy sucks. But anyways, I'm trying to figure out viable options for this, and I'm gonna probably have to test things out differently, you know. So please bear with us. I touched upon a little bit of the international's customs and taxes fees. I will post a link to our just updated policies and stuff like that um, below. I also did want to mention one thing is that because I get inquiries about using DHL shipping. DHL is widely used everywhere else in the world but the United States. So for me, where I live in Pennsylvania, there's the two closest locations are Philadelphia and Harrisburg, both of which would require me to do a 3 to 4 hour round trip drive just to drop it off, or to pay extra to schedule a pickup here. So, and for whatever reason, I did attempt to get a DHL account at one point, and after months of them dropping the ball, because apparently you can't just put in your credit card information and blah 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 and business information. You have to submit everything just sort of a stool sample, and like it just got to. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just not even. So that's really not an option. I mean, unless you want to pay extra to have them, I don't know how much they charge to come pick stuff up. Like if I have UPS come to pick up things at my house, it costs $25. Unless UPS at least has you can has a function through DoorDash, so you can pay like maybe $5. But there is also a limit on like it has to be under a certain amount of dollars and worth or whatever, just for probably their own liability issues. I mean, a lot of this stuff with the international, and this is why a lot of places don't ship outside the, United States. It is a hassle. And, we're still looking for, solutions and stuff like that. So, if you have any, feel free to link them below because it's hard finding a solution that works for all the 200 something countries in the freaking world. Because, like, even one, like, I don't know what it is. I can't send anything. I had to stop shipping to Mexico because everything I shipped to Mexico never got to the person it was going to. So, again, that product's of money, and then I've refunded the person. So now it's just easier for me not to ship to Mexico. I don't ship to South America, or not South America, South Africa. Um, there's places obviously you can't ship to like North Korea, and right now they've restricted shipping to Russia. So there's that. I don't think I ship to India anymore because everything was getting lost there. And I was just like, again, it's just not worth it. I'm tired of things getting lost and all of that. So anywho, I think that's everything. Sorry, this was such a long-winded video. I hope you watched all of it and whatnot. Sorry for any extra spicy moments, but it's Gemini season. We be like that. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, and be sure to sign up for our e-newsletter so you know what's going on. Because algorithms suck, and it's really impacting small businesses greatly. So help us out, y'all. Anyways, So I love you all. Bye.